What's going on, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Hope everyone's doing well, and we're going to dive into a bunch today, so you don't want to miss today's video. We're going to look at this beautiful XRP price chart shared by Credible Crypto. We're also going to go over this shared by Colin Talks Crypto. This is the same guy that made the Bitcoin Bull Run Index, because he's showing that the global M2 money supply line just went vertical, and usually this is a leading indicator for the crypto asset class. So we're going to dive into this. An epic rally is coming soon for stocks, Bitcoin, and crypto. We're also going to go over this news of President Trump signing an executive order establishing a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. So we're going to be discussing that, the digital asset stockpile of Ethereum, XRP, Solana, ADA. We'll go over some bullish arguments, but then we also want to go over some contrarian takes. So we're going to talk about both sides, and then we can kind of decide right now, is this actually a game changer or is this a gimmick? Alright, so first up, we've shared by Credible Crypto, we have the XRP price chart on the top on the daily time frame versus the Bitcoin US dollar index on the bottom on the weekly time frame. So we can see Bitcoin down here, we have 5 waves predicting a 5th and final wave for this year. Now what's really interesting is the XRP price chart, so we can see in this range consolidating, he's predicting from here that we're actually going to see multiple waves to the upside. And based on these 5 waves he has, it looks like he's predicting a 5th and final wave for XRP before the end of this year. So what do we have here? It looks like maybe like a $4 to $5 move, and then we can see some waves, retracements, and then getting us, it looks like, over 16 bucks, maybe like 15 to 20 bucks. And then it looks like after consolidation going fully vertical, and I think this is also based on Bitcoin, kind of comparing these two fractals of consolidation, exploding, in another range, waiting for the 5th wave for Bitcoin. So hopefully I'm interpreting this right, but I believe he is kind of pointing out the similarities between these structures of Bitcoin on the weekly versus this fractal of XRP on the daily. So this is definitely something to consider, never say never, and we're going to see how long each of these ranges are because it could be slightly different. Some could be longer, some could be shorter. But to finally see XRP breaking major moves into new all-time highs at 10 bucks, 20 bucks, or 30 bucks, yes please. And just remember that Robert Mitchnick right here, he is head of digital assets over at BlackRock today, and years ago he wrote an XRP valuation framework. You can Google this is available on his Medium blog, and open this up. And if you go right to page 20, as we can see right there, we have some high estimates of success cases. So we have XRP right here at $32.91, right there $6.37. And out of those 4 values shared by Robert Mitchnick and Susan Athey, we can see 32 bucks, 8 bucks, $6. The only one we're above is $1.59. And when we look at XRP's market cap drawing a Fibonacci retracement just like we'll do for Bitcoin and Ethereum from the high to the cycle low going all the way across, we are still below the 1618 and the 4.236 is at $600 billion. So based on today's market cap, if we were to reach a perfect 4.236 to around 600 billion, that is still 330% away, or over 4x. So that's roughly a 330% increase. And looking at the XRP price chart and doing a 330% increase, assuming a 4.236 Fibonacci extension for XRP's market cap, what does that give us? It basically gives us a double-digit XRP over 10 bucks, as we can see. And the reason we keep pointing this out is because measuring from the same exact cycles for Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have both already hit a perfect 4.236 for the ETH market cap and Bitcoin's market cap. So as you can see, from high to low, a perfect 4.236 Fibonacci extension. We'll do the same thing for Bitcoin really quick. So we're going to be looking at the exact cycle top that we did for XRP and Ethereum. So from high to low, where did we go? Right around the 4.236 Fibonacci extension, right there. So we can all argue on where we think the top for XRP is going to be, but if we did hit a 4.236 with a $600 billion market cap today, based on the tokenomics, that would be over 10 bucks. So that would be a $600 billion market cap for XRP, which is actually surpassing Ethereum's 2021 all-time high market cap that it's yet to surpass again. And realistically, I do believe someday we will see an altcoin or multiple altcoins surpass over 1 trillion in market cap. The question is, will we see it this cycle? Alright, next up, so this is what I feel is the most interesting and most exciting thing in today's video is global M2 money supply that's going up. And for anybody that studies the cycles, M2 going up or the Fed actually adding to its balance sheet are the two biggest things that can happen for the crypto asset class and give us a much bigger bull run than we think. And this is an absolute fact that the correlation between global liquidity or M2 versus the Bitcoin price chart has existed for multiple cycles. When M2 goes up, Bitcoin rises. When Bitcoin rises, leading to this next cycle, this is going to lead to another alt season. And that's historically what's happened over the last 2 cycles in the last 2 alt seasons. We've gone over all of this before, but this is also in line with Raoul Pal's narrative for the liquidity cycle, which I agree with. So Colin is a very smart guy and he shares quality information. Highly recommend watching this whole thing. We're going to play a few clips and just showing this is a predictive correlation to Bitcoin and stocks. So feel free to take this with a grain of salt, but an epic rally could be on the horizon between March and even May. And if we are looking at the previous cycles, even May to September is possible for Bitcoin to actually find its cycle top. And I shared that a while ago, just looking at the lengths of all the past cycles.
And that actually makes total sense because Bitcoin is a risk asset. The S&P 500 represents a basket of risk assets. They're all risk assets, and they all correspond and respond in a similar way to injections of capital and liquidity, which is represented by the global M2 money supply. Now, this is crazy, but the global M2 money supply line, this yellow line, just keeps going up. And it actually just took off vertical on the right side of the graph here, you can see. So it hasn't slowed down. It continues to accelerate. It's actually very close to its previous all-time highs. And at this particular trajectory, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually surpasses the all-time highs, which is some of your guys' concern. You're saying, oh, how could Bitcoin or these other things make a new all-time high if the global M2 money supply has not yet made a new all-time high? Well, pretty soon that argument's going to be moot because it looks like it's heading that direction very rapidly. I mean, look at this last move up here. Some people thought, oh, maybe this is the top. Nope, it took another leg up. So it's looking like, if this correlation holds true, that the rally for stocks, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency is going to be epic. It's going to be utterly epic. And the date with which it starts to blast off will be approximately March 25th. And it looks like it's going to go for about 6 weeks so far. That's not even saying it's over. It's just that's how much graph data we have so far. 6 weeks of a massive move up. So that would put us from March 25th at the start of this move all the way to May 14th. And I don't want to go over all of this again. So if you don't understand how the global M2 money supply line is showing a predictive correlation to Bitcoin and the stock market, please watch the last couple of videos I made where I dive much more in depth into this correlation and my thoughts as to why that could even be. It's not that we have future data for the M2 supply line. This seems to be a common misconception. This is not future data. Some people are like, how'd you get the future data? This is not future data. This is the present data slid forward. This yellow line is pushed forward. And it seems to be that's the correlation required to match the price charts. So I just wanted to put that out there. This global M2 supply line is not some like seeing into the future imaginary data. This is the actual data. And this is the actual correlation that I personally think fits best. If you think that a different offset, a different sliding forward of this yellow line fits better, then please be my guest, use a different offset. You can see currently I'm using an offset of 70 here. I think that fits, roughly speaking, pretty well. I've looked at this so much, as you probably know if you've watched some of my past videos. I shared the script in my last video. If you want this global M2 money supply line script, please add it to your TradingView account and play around with it. Change this to 46 days or 107 days or whatever you feel you think matches best, because I'm just showing you what I think looks best.
So I thought that was very interesting. Based on watching that and his data offset right there of 70, we can play with the numbers, but this is the number that he thinks is best, basically arguing for the start of a larger rally by the end of this month. And either way, all of these views, anybody looking at these cycles expecting another cycle matches up with all the historical data. We might not be able to time the wave, but we can ride the wave. So looking at the Bitcoin weekly price chart, we are in a range going up, down, just like previous ranges. We break above this level of 109K and break out of this range, it's time to celebrate. Now I've seen some really good wave counts out there by some people. I'm just personally, for my own expectations, not going to be convinced until we're actually breaking out of this range, because flash wicks backtests on previous highs are still possible. And that's exactly why I continue to preach the 8-month EMA, the exponential moving average on the monthly time frame, keeping monthly candle bodies above this level, even if we see flash wicks like 2013 or August 2024. We keep monthly candle bodies closing above that 83K level today, then we're good. And same thing with Bitcoin dominance, I'm looking for potential bearish divergence on the monthly. Either way, when we find our top and we lose the 50-week moving average and we actually crash below these lows, alt season is already starting. So we're in March, we still have plenty of months left, but hopefully we do see the start of the rally by the end of this month. Alright, and to finish up today's video, I wanted to go through this, and I think this is very interesting. Hopefully we get a lot more information coming out today with the White House Crypto Summit, but we're going to go through the pros, the cons, and what we know. So if any of this isn't correct, please correct me down below. So from my understanding today, we have a US strategic Bitcoin reserve, which appears to be Bitcoin only, and then we have number 2, a United States digital asset stockpile, which includes, I believe, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA, and maybe more in the future. So number 1, the Bitcoin reserve. This is Bitcoin only. This is government controlled, and there are no Bitcoin purchases that I know of. And the Bitcoin that's in this reserve is the Bitcoin that's seized in criminal and civil asset forfeiture cases. So basically, the United States will no longer auction off seized Bitcoin. Instead, they're going to be holding it in a long-term reserve asset, similar to gold in Fort Knox, which is what was referenced by David Sachs. So I believe that no taxpayer money is going to be used and that this reserve is completely budget neutral. Now for this US Crypto Strategic Reserve, I believe this is a separate entity, and I believe that this is more so a stockpile, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA. So I believe these altcoins, and maybe more in the future, are going to be in this stockpile, but only if they're actually seized. So let's go over some bullish arguments for this, and then we're going to review a few contrarian takes. So number 1, Bitcoin is being recognized as a strategic asset like gold, and gold's market cap is $19 trillion. That is significantly larger than Bitcoin, which is below $2 trillion. Number 2, hopefully this means that the US will stop selling Bitcoin at auction, reducing sell pressure. Number 3, this paves the way for future government Bitcoin accumulation and even crypto accumulation. Number 4, obviously this legitimizes crypto as part of the United States financial infrastructure, with more to come. And I really hope that today's White House Crypto Summit brings further clarity to this. This is going to move the market up or down. And right now, the United States is officially holding Bitcoin, so this shifts the entire conversation toward digital assets as a permanent part of financial policy, leading to better regulation. And you could make the argument that even though there is no direct buying that's actually happening yet, this could actually lay the foundation for future adoption. Now let's look at the other side of this, because this should all be considered at the very least. So this is shared by Shay. David Sachs confirms the US government will not be buying Bitcoin or crypto. The Crypto Strategic Reserve will only include assets obtained through forfeiture. And this is what I'm still a bit unsure of, so please correct me down below, but Galgatron is a very smart guy, and he's sharing his argument, and I think he's right, completely, based on what he's saying, that all of this is kind of just a news parlor trick, and that no taxpayer money is being used, so it doesn't actually create any Bitcoin buying pressure, at least this announcement. And that essentially the government is only holding what it otherwise would have sold, so nothing really changes. And right now, Bitcoin isn't backing the US dollar or paying off debt, so its role in national finance is still minimal. And that all of this is one big political move, which is completely possible, but at the same time for me, and I'm biased, if this news and narrative helps create or lead to the next cycle, I'm all about it. So what happens next? Today is the first ever White House Crypto Summit. The administration is meeting. We know Brad Garlinghouse is there as well. In either way, coming out of this is a very big narrative switch. And I think that crypto going forward is going to be a part of regular conversations. And you could make the argument that narratives move markets. And I think what moves markets even more is M2. And you can go through what David Sachs is saying about Bitcoin and the debt, and if the government has held Bitcoin, it would be worth over $17 billion today. That's how much it has cost American taxpayers not to have a long-term strategy. I think all of this still leads to much bigger things, and in the case that it doesn't, and this is just an announcement, it still brings attention to crypto. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button down below, let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.